Hello! Today we are checking out Huntdown Overtime in Early Access, a game that will send you straight back to 1980s. It's a roguelite, 2D run and gun side-scroller that perfectly captures the vibe of old-school arcade machines, but wraps it up in a modern meta-progression system. You play as a bounty hunter who died, only to be brought back to life with cybernetic body parts to fight crime in a dystopian Detroit. If you're old enough, this setup sounds incredibly familiar, doesn't it? If you ask me, they should have just gone all in and named the game Robo Hunter. As you play, you'll choose a path to the main boss, collecting bounties along the way. These reward you with 3 different types of currency. 2 are dedicated to meta progression, while the third is for in-game shops. If you are feeling greedy, you can even attempt to arrest mini-bosses for a bigger payout, at a bit of risk of course. The gameplay is basic but incredibly fun. An amazing arsenal of weapons allows you to beat, burn, melt and completely delete your enemies. You can also add weapon mods to make things even more chaotic. Together with the cheesy one-liner and background music, the whole experience practically screams, "The 80s are back, baby!" The first half of the game is so packed with these tropes that I was honestly expecting "Hasta la vista, baby" after a boss fight and some Guns N' Roses playing in the background. I wasn't too far off though. I actually ended up going to the Van Halen concert to kill the main boss. Speaking of bosses, they are very well done. While mini-bosses are just tougher criminals, the main bosses feature some really fun mechanics. However, the meta progression is where the game gets slow and painful. Farming Swiss francs isn't an issue, you can get enough of them to secure significant upgrades, like health packs, or unlock new weapons once a license drops in-game. But credits? They are nearly impossible to hoard. You'll likely finish the game before maxing out your upgrades, and half of the available perks feel incredibly insignificant. Implants are okay, you can activate one of them on level up and they can change gameplay a bit. But your other upgrades, like when you need 70 credits for 10 health or 20 for 3% more experience, are tedious. It really doesn't feel rewarding. And I hope that this is just because it's early access and there isn't enough content. The second half of the game takes a strange turn. You find yourself fighting cannibals, and while it's cool on its own, it honestly feels like you've switched games. I get the reference to classic redneck Americana horror, but the atmosphere isn't quite as strong as the neon-lit Detroit section, which breaks immersion a bit. I'm also not sure why there are suddenly zombies in the tunnels, and frankly I hate them. On the bright side, I actually preferred the bosses in this silent zone compared to the Detroit ones. Some of them, especially the pig boss and the second phase of the final encounter, really put a smile on my face. Ultimately, I love this game. It is a fantastic throwback. The attention to details when executing enemies with different weapons paired with the snappy one-liners is amazing. Most of the guns are a blast to use, and the overall vibe is top-notch. The main drawback is that the game is very short. A full run takes less than an hour. Of course, you'll need more time to actually beat it depending on your RNG and skill, but it still feels brief, even for early access. I also wasn't a fan of repetitiveness. Having to run through the entire first zone every single time just to reach to the second half gets old. I hope they tweak this for the full release. Don't get me wrong, the game is great, but because it's so short, I would recommend waiting for more content or the full launch to get the complete experience. That said, if you want to support the developers right now, you won't be disappointed spending $15 on this. I didn't know I need the game to send me 40 years back into the past, but it was incredibly refreshing. Sorry for the lack of videos over the last 2 weeks, I just moved into a new flat, so real life is eating all of my time at the moment. Anyway, Enjoy the game, like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.